Today I want to show you guys another way that you can make a power pickup for your Lego trains. And I'm using an old motor box. This one, the gearbox is messed up in it, so I don't care if I scrap it out. And the reason I started making this power pickup is because on my Santa Fe train, I wanted everything to be gray. And the only way I could do that was by using these side skirt pieces that I sell on my website. And then you can make it whatever color you can buy these side pieces in. To start, we're going to take out these 6 screws that are on the bottom of the motor. And you'll want to be careful because they are very small screws and they are easily lost. Set that aside, and we're going to take these 2 items because we got to drill them out. To drill them, I have a machinist drill bit set, and I am using drill bit number 8. This is a 0.199 thousandth drill bit. Now, don't do this at home. I do drill it with holding my hands, but it is much better to do it in a vise. With those all drilled up, we're going to set them aside because what we've got to do is we got to put bushings in that. But before we do the bushings, we're going to take 4 of these little 5mm eyelets. We're going to take and then just gently try and flatten out the end of them, because we want to keep as much of this length as possible. So what I'm doing, and I hope this is visible because I know my light's kind of getting blocked by my big head, but you flatten those out, and then you got to cut the tabs off of each side. And I just take some little cutters like this and just do a quick nip. And you can see they fly right off. And we got to do that 4 times. But just to show you what you do once you get all 4 done, you're going to come and you're going to take your little needle nose and you're going to put it right up just to the end, like so, and then you're going to bend it over because you want to be able to have this to notch it in to the motor, and we will get to that. Now on each one of these, we're going to take and put one of these little washer pieces that we made with the tab sticking in like so. And you're going to slide it in to each one of these. And these are a tight fit, and they're tight on purpose. Real quickly, these are a 3mm ID and a 5mm OD. And you can use copper, which is what I'm using in this video, or you can buy the brass version. And I will try to put links below in the description for all the different items that I'm using. Now you'll have 2 of these little gears with the metal stab, we'll call it, coming off the eyelet, coming around. And what this is for is this is where we're going to be attaching our wire to for our power pickup, because the wheels ride inside of this and then they conduct and bring our electricity out to these posts. But before we do that, we got to prop this motor out and we got to unsolder the connections. To prop the motor out, they come really easy. You just take a screwdriver, we'll start it from this end, just kind of give it a little pry. And while we're in the process, we're also going to remove these 2 little gearboxes or gear shafts because we do not need them. And right here on this part, I forgot to record. And what I was actually doing is unsoldering the motor so we could get it out of the way to move further. And next, we're going to be notching the sides of the motor case. And I like to take my Dremel tool. And what I generally do, just to show you, because it's loud to do it while I'm actually cutting and talking, I'm going to be notching it right here. So we're going to be just in front of the pre-existing groove, and we're going to notch it up just about 1/4 inch. So you just want a little small groove like that. And you're going to do that on all 4 corners. With everything cut, we did a quick test fit, and you can see they fit really snug and well. And keep in mind, these do not move because you're putting in the stainless steel wheels. Those are going to be what is actually spinning, not this part. But now that we have this done, the wire, well, actually, I guess it's over on this end. The wire is on this end, so now we're going to take a 3-inch piece of wire to go from here to here, and from here to here, and then we're also going to be soldering on these 2 wires, one to this side, and then the other one to this side. For the wire, I'm using this Tecumseh 26 gauge copper wire, and this has a silicone insulation. To solder my wires on, I like to do a little pre-tinning, as you can see on the points here. And now I'm going to quickly solder one set of wires to this side and one set of wires to here. Now we got to solder the last two wires to the other two connections on this gearbox. And this is the most important part, and this is why I say this. You need to make sure that if the wire coming from here that you soldered on is staying on the same side. You do not want to crisscross the wires because you'll create a short circuit event. So if you have a wire on this side, it goes to the rear on this side. The wire on this side goes to the rear on this side. It's very important to make sure you have that distinction. With everything soldered in place and everything placed inside, and something else that's important to note is you have to have the gears kitty corner from each other when this goes back together. And it's because, as you can see on the base plate, the gears are kitty cornered also. And you want to make sure that those gear spaces are going to line up. Otherwise, that orange piece will not let you put this back on. But now that we have that, let's put all of our screws back inside. Now with everything screwed together, our plug is good and stout. Let's start putting everything together so we can go take it over to the table and test it. These are the wheels that I sell on my website. You're going to put 2 on one side. And normally I would put just a dab of grease, and it's got to be conducting grease, electrical grease. Specifically, I use this, and this is because this is conductive grease. You do not want to use regular grease, as it would probably be more of an insulator. This actually conducts electricity. But I'm in a hurry, and I want to try it out for the video, so you put those on, and then you put your clip on. And you have to have the clips that have the hole. Just to show you what I mean, you have to have that notch. That notch is what goes around the wheels that I make. If you don't have the ones with the notch, it will not work. Anyway, flip the other side around. Let's put our other 2 wheels on and pop this into place. Now let's go over to our table and see how well this setup works. Real quickly, this is the side cover you cannot use. Again, it has to be notched. Anyway, we're going to take this, and I just so happen to have a brand new motor. So let's open this guy up. Now we're going to take our motor, slide that up and through, take our power pickup, slide that up and through. Of course, the plate I grabbed has the small hole in it, so I couldn't put the adapter plug for the power pickup in it. But we're still going to put it on and try it out anyway. Something else, because I wanted there to be a little weight on this, so I put 2 weighted blocks on here. That way I know I have weight on the motor. But let's give it a shot. Should be able to turn it back and forth and run great, and it does. Now the key here is, because this is not technically power ups, this is a power ups motor powered by my power pickup. You can't use any of the controls or anything like that. And yes, I have tried to make adapters where you could. Personally, I don't like the power up stuff. I mean, it's cool if you're using all the batteries, but when you start using the 9-volt power pickups like I have, you end up with a lot of connectivity issues, because there is fluctuations in the voltage as it's going across, like these little connections and stuff in between each plate. And that's why I just don't think it's a good option. But something I am looking at doing very soon, and I'm probably going to be using a power pickup like I did just made here, is I do want to try and do some DCC using Digitrack's HO scale train system. And hopefully I will be making a video with that real soon. But anyway, for those that have asked me about other ways that you can make a power pickup, now you have the one where you're using an old engine box. And that's it. See you next time on Bevins Bricks.